You see, I know how dirty Donald is. These are words stated by the late Jeffrey Epstein in 2018, according to emails released today on November 12th in the big 2025. The government is back open, and it's a great time to remind you all that Trump and Epstein were pals and knew each other pretty fairly well. The pressure for the full Epstein files to be released has gotten so great that Trump himself has called multiple House representatives today in hopes that they'll remove their names from a petition to have the full files released, which is like pretty not innocent behavior. So we're going to talk about what's got Mr. Dump spooked, the White House response, his response, etc.
It's Wing Wong Wednesday.
Derapy. So I don't want to waste any time here. There's reportedly an email from Epstein to author Michael Wolff that says, quote, "Of course he knew about the girls," as he asked Ghislaine to stop. Of course he knew about the girls. I don't know how much more clear we could be. I don't know what else he could be referring to. In the same email right before this, it has the victim's name redacted. It says Mar-a-Lago, and it says Trump said he asked me to resign, never a member ever. So it's clear what they're talking about.
The orange guy in the bad place with the little girls.
This was just from 2019, by the way. There's also correspondence from Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell that names one of the victims and says, "I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump," redacted victim. "Spent hours at my house with him." This is in 2011, which, to be clear, is almost a decade and a half ago. And some say this is upsetting because why are we just now getting this? How long have these people had access to this information that they're just now releasing? But I think that it makes the case stronger. A man who Trump claims he hasn't been involved with in some time is talking about his involvement consistently behind the scenes for years at a time. Also, by the way, the "I know how dirty Donald is" bit is from a 2018 email thread where Epstein is talking about Michael Cohen, Trump's lawyer, who pled guilty to campaign finance violations, but I had to include it. Add dirty Donald to the infinite list of ways to describe the Big Orange. Anyways, for those of you who think that a few emails from years ago are no biggie and the House Oversight Committee, the Democrats are just doing too much, not only is Trump hitting up people personally to put an end to the prodding, but he's also hit us with a few classic posts from that website that nobody's on, Truth Social. "The Democrats are trying to bring up the Jeffrey Epstein hoax again because they'll do anything at all to deflect on how badly they've done on the shutdown and so many other subjects. Only a very bad or stupid Republican would fall into that trap." Yeah, just a reminder, if you're red team and you've been reminded of the fact that basically no one has paid the price for the suffering of these young women, you're very bad, very stupid. The Democrats have obviously hired bots or something to type up fake emails that date back to 2019, 17, 15, 11, and you should just forget about it. Or you're stupid and bad. But the
Wing Wongery
doesn't stop. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was going at it with reporters who dared ask, "Hey, why not just release the whole darn thing? Why not just get it over with?
Why not just go ahead, release the full files on Epstein, get this all over with?"
This administration has done more with respect to transparency when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein than any administration ever.
Yeah, nothing says transparency like the president constantly saying, "Stop asking me about it," posting all over social media saying it's a hoax, claiming Obama wrote them up at one point. Yeah. Very transparent.
It is not a coincidence that the Democrats leaked these emails to the fake news this morning ahead of Republicans reopening the government. This is another distraction campaign by the Democrat and the liberal media, and it's why I'm being asked questions about Epstein instead of the government reopening because of Republicans and President Trump.
But given your interest in transparency, Caroline, why are White House officials then meeting with Representative Boebert in an effort to try and get her to not sign this petition?
That's a great question. If it's simply a distraction and the focus is reopening the government, why are we going out of our way to personally contact those who simply want the files released?
Calling for the release of the files.
Doesn't it show transparency that members of the Trump administration are willing to brief members of Congress whenever they please? Doesn't that show our level of transparency? Doesn't that show the level of transparency when we are willing to sit down with members of Congress and address their concerns? That's a defining factor of transparency. Having discussions with members of Congress about various issues, and I'm not going to detail conversations that took place in the Situation Room in the press briefing room.
So this was the initial response, but it turns out that the panic is even greater than we thought. According to CNN and the New York Times, Trump had an emergency meeting in the Situation Room to discuss the push to release the files. They had Pam Bondi, Attorney General, Todd Blanche, Deputy Attorney General, Kash Patel, head of the FBI, all in talks, all in meetings, trying to figure out how to shut this down. And I just think it's weird because if Trump isn't in the files and has nothing to hide, and there's this commitment to transparency, why do we get multiple social media posts calling it a hoax, telling people that they're dumb for even thinking about it? Why are we calling all the reporting fake? What's the deal? This is a developing story, and I know a ton more will come out in the coming hours and days. I just felt compelled to come on here and say something about it because, well, it's the president. But I do think we've become desensitized almost collectively about Trump's involvement with Epstein because it feels like nothing ever really happens. And I'm hoping because, I don't know, maybe 1 million people are talking about it on the Bird app, maybe somebody will do something. I don't know what more it's going to take. I mean, Trump said at one point, and this was years ago, but he said he knew Jeff. He called him Jeff, okay, affectionately. He said he knew him for 15 years. He said he was a terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. And it is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. Trump said that. That's real. It came straight out of New York Magazine. And then there's the dozens of pictures of them together, but we're supposed to believe that the second Donnie got in office, they actually had no contact. Epstein was always a creep. Trump knew it, and he didn't even really know him all that well. Every email we've seen from Epstein talking about Trump is fabricated. I guess the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal and CNN and Democrats and any Republican that cares are apparently all in on the hoax. I'm not going to tell you what to believe. I'm just going to say, trust your eyes and your ears. Don't be a
Wing Wong.
You don't have to quit your job and go like Sherlock it, but when news drops, just look, connect the dots, 2 plus 2 it. That's all the yammering that I'm going to be doing about this for now. There is actually a 3-hour video on the YouTube channel already where we talk about all the ways that the White House has been fumbling this up to this point. I will link that in the description, or my editor will. I'll be back soon with more stories, some more positive, hopefully as well. Love you, mean it, spread the bread, and enjoy the outro.
Cracking my windshield, I'm pissed off. If you a hater, get lost.
Get lost.
Yeah, it's my show and I'm in charge. Don't eat lemon pepper wings, but I'm the big boss. Please cut me slack, man, need a discount. About to jump off the roof, that's a dismount. I'm just playing. I'm okay.
Okay, but are you though?
Sorry for the pause, that's awkward. Start a podcast, cause I knew I was a talker. Yeah, my girl love me, but she's sick of my voice. And I'm pro-choice, so she do what she want. Why they hate when I get political? I'm a deep thinker, that's critical. Way too serious for a dude not getting paid. Man, I really need a shave. You know what sucks? Most of season 2 of Dave. Taking shots, but I skip out on the bar. Every single show, I swear I wanna raise the bar. Hope you listen close so you never miss the bar. Say the same thing, but I'm still going.